The next project will be the pulley assembly. So you want to go to the CAD resources site because that's where we're going to get the part from. There's only one start part in this one. Just go to cadresources.com and click on the book that you have. And we are going to use the part from the pulley assembly. Make sure you've downloaded your project files. And there isn't really much on here, but it does show you what we're going to do. And we're going to create, this is kind of a fancier version right here, but we're going to create the pulley and then the belt using top-down design. Now I know in engineering practice that would not be normal, but this is a procedure that you need to learn, and this is the method that I chose to do it in. So we really don't need this right now. One person did a very complicated one, and I can open up that. You're not required to do that for the project unless you wish. Let's see if I can preview this. Sometimes there's a preview, sometimes there's not a preview. So this is one that what the student did that's more complicated. The only thing that's really required is for this project is the pulley and then the belt here, nothing else. So I'm going to go in and change my display to isometric. I did not do it. Standard orientation. And I'll go in and I'll turn on all the datum tags right now. We'll turn them off later. So you can see the components in the part. Now the only thing that's given to you is the cylinder rod here. So that's the start part. I'll close it. So we're going to start a new assembly, and it's the pulley. Follow the steps in the book. I'll use the default template here, and I'm going to go back over and look at the web page. I'm going to click on the pulley assembly. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have clicked on the I have the commercial version. Be careful which one you select. These are the academic version. And on the pulley, we'll open that up. And the only thing I really want to use is the cylinder rod. Oh, it says it's no longer a list in here. That's kind of odd. Should be in there. I think the academic version is in there. I'll have to check that later. So what we'll do is we'll add one from here. And there's my component, and I'm going to right mouse button, default constraint, put a coordinate system to coordinate system. And I think I'm going to go over and open up this part because the appearance is kind of sketchy on here. What I'll do is we will clear the appearances and clear all appearances like so. And then if I want to add appearance back on, I can also go in here and I can select a different type. You know, if you have this on your system, you may not. And I will go in here and maybe I'll check this one here. This one's kind of a cool color, and you can see in the appearance editor it actually has a base color, an edge color, and a flake color. So it's kind of neat. And you can go in and you can actually change what you want to select here. But I think the only thing I would like to do is it's pretty bright. It's hard to see when you have it that bright. So we'll change it a little bit. See if that works out. All right, so that's our first component. We're going to make the next component using top-down design. Close my window here in the assembly. Make sure my tree filters are all on so I can see all the items in the model tree. And we're going to do top-down design, so I'm going to create, and it's a solid part, and this will be the pulley. Give it a unique name. We're going to locate default datums align the coordinate systems, and we're going to click on the assembly coordinate system, and we can click over here too on the model. Now it's going to gray out everything, try and make it transparent, because what's active right now is the pulley. Of course, we only have datum planes in that for it. Now the datum plane that we want to work on is going to be DTM3. So we're going to make a revolved part, and we're going to click on DTM3. I'll go into the sketch view, and a little bit easier to see. And the first thing we want to do, since it's a revolved feature, we want to use the axis of revolution. And we want to put some references in. Sometimes you got to free up the cursor there. And I think what I'll do is I'll go over to my hidden line, and I want to select this as one reference. And I've got the reference going down the middle and the one over to the end, and that's probably all I need. Well, no, I'll take that back. I want to get this edge here. Now be careful, you don't want this edge here. That's where the cut for the keyway is. You want it on the top part of the cylinder, the edge, like so. So those are the only two references we really need. So I'll move this down a little bit. And I think I'll put another center line, construction center line in, like so. Now, I'm going to create the pulley and make sure I don't hit an unwanted position here or get an unwanted constraint. So I'm just going to click in here somewhere. I'm going to go up, and you can look in a machinery's handbook or in another design book and find out what a pulley shape should be and use those dimensions if you really want to. I'm just going to click here, it's going to be a V-belt, and only create half of it. I'm not going to worry about the dimensioning right now. So I'm going to window everything in, click on the mirror tool, and mirror it. And of course I should clean up the dimensions. Get the angle dimension here. And it would be good to have a dimension across from one end to the other here for the full thickness of the pulley. And we can leave the rest in. Got a couple diameters here. We're going to keep them. And we can make these a little bit more logical. We'll use 12, 14, just so that they're not odd numbers. And the same thing with the top. And let's make this 35. Hate it when it resizes, but you just have to put up with it. And how about 2.5? This is in inches. The cylinder rod was in inches, so the assembly, it's okay. We don't have to go change it like we did the last valve project. And we have another dimension here. How about 0.75? And again, you can use different, you can make this your different size. You do not have to have it exactly like the one here. You're designing your own. I really just wanted to move this dimension up. Okay. So we'll go into our standard orientation. Click OK. What's wrong? Let's see. Go to shading. I want to go back in because basically I needed to have a closed section. I'm not sure why I did it like this, but I forgot to do the closure. I should have known because it should have been shaded like that. And looks pretty good. Check. And there's the pulley. Now there's some other items here that you need to do. One, we're going to cut out some of the mass on here and put a hub, And we'll put some lightening holes in here. And we also have to do the key seat. So it's still active. Let's click on Revolve, and we are going to remove material. I'm not sure why it doesn't want me to do that. Very interesting. I'm going to go back over and activate my assembly. I'm going to open up my part here. It looks okay. I can make a key seat in here too. And we'll activate it. I want to go in and check something. For some reason it made it into a surface. I'll be careful here. Because I left it open the first time, it decided it can't make I should have read the notice. It said, hey, you've got a problem. I'm going to turn it into a surface. I want this to be a solid. So that's why when I tried to do a revolved cut, remove material was not available to me. And I can click here and I say define. I can use previous this time because it's basically like before. See, I'm not paying attention to what I really want to do here. I don't really want to make a revolved cut. I want to make an extruded cut. So in both cases, it would have given me a problem because I had a surface before. Remove material, and I want to use this method. Let's see, use previous, sketch view, and let's go into hidden line and get some references. So the reference I want is the edge of the part. I think we're going to turn off all these features. So I want the edge of the part, edge of the pulley on both sides. And I think that's it. Let's try it. So all we want to do is put in a line from here to here. Nothing else. And we'll go into our standard orientation, and maybe we'll turn it into shading with edges. And click. And of course we want to cut the other direction. And we want to make it symmetrical. Nope, let's not make it symmetrical. Let's go in and go up to a surface. So 2 selected to here. And we want to go in the other direction. 2 selected also. All right. Here's my cut. And there's my key seat. All right. Let's turn on our datum features. Control D to get it into the standard orientation. This is still active. So let's do some other work here. Now we could do it here or we could do it in the part. Go back and forth. And in reality, I think I'm going to open up the part because I don't really need the assembly around it to do the next features. So let's start off with creating a hub. I want to do a revolved cut again. And again, I can use my previous orientation for the sketch. I want to make sure I go in and start off with the axis of revolution. That'll give me diameter dimensions. And let's references, and we want to use the outside as a reference. Now, there's a variety of ways to do this, but I think we'll do it. We're just going to cut on one side. I don't like to do the features on both sides like that. So let's create a hub. I can have an open section, but you can see I went way down here. That's way too far. So I want to get it above the key seat. And to make it a little bit different. I'm going to give it a check, see what happens. So I'm going to remove all that material. Again, I didn't bother to do fancy dimensioning or the correct dimensioning or sizes or anything. Just, it's going to be your design. You can do what you want. Check. All right. Now, let's say we want it to be the same on the opposite side, but I don't have a datum plane that goes down the middle. So let's click the mirror tool and click in here for datum and do a datum plane. And we're going to offset that datum plane. Can't remember how far we made it. I thought it was 2 inches. I mean, let's see. We do 2 inches. Where does it go to? Yeah, it goes to the, oh, no. So 2.5, maybe this was supposed to be 1.25. Let's see if it goes to the middle. Looks okay. I'm going to continue and check, and it mirrors the cut to the other side. So you can see with the mirror tool, I put the datum plane inside the command rather than on the outside where it would show up in the model tree. I don't have to look at it that way. All right. One of the things is let's get a different color on here. Not sure which one I should pick. Don't use dark colors. I said that, so I'm going to have to change it. Always use pastels if you can help it. Actually, I kind of like that one. A little dark. All right. The edge color here, we could change the edge color. How about kind of a red? Let's see if that looks any good. Doesn't seem to change it much. All right. Now, one other thing, let's make this lighter. It's too heavy. So I can pre-select. I'm going to pre-select in here on the face. And I'm going to cut that out with a hole. And the type of hole, I want to have it be diameter. So I want the axis as one of the oops, see, I didn't want to do that. On this face, click in here, diameter, axes, and then the other one, hold down the control key and select a datum plane. I think I'll pick that one. And we'll make the angle 0. And I think we should make the size considerably smaller. 0.5. Oh, sorry. Through all. How about 0.75? Oh, kind of small. I'll just eyeball it. I want to remove some of the material. That looks okay. And again, you can make the dimensions better than this. And while I'm there and it's selected, let's pattern it. And we're going to use a axial pattern. So it depends on what you want to put. If we just leave 4 in there, it makes it a little bit lighter. And again, you can increase the number there. Put them all around. It's your design. You could put some rounds on here. I definitely would stick some rounds up here in the belt if you wish. Belt area, but maybe you want to do the belt. If you don't want to put them in, but if you do put the rounds in here, you're going to have to use that when you create the belt. No big deal. So close that. Go back over to the assembly. And we're going to do the pulley. Sorry, the belt, but we're going to use the pulley to control it. So this is going to be another top-down design, so we're going to hit create, and it's going to be the belt. It's a solid part. And we will locate the coordinate system again. Default. And you can see the features here. Now what we want to do is we want to create a trajectory because we're going to make a sweep. So I'm going to click on the sweep tool, and it's looking right now for the trajectory. So I'm going to go in the datum here, and I'm going to select my sketch tool. And I don't have to go down where the actual feature is being created. I can do anything parallel to it. So I'm going to use the datum plane here. Sketch view. And I want to get my references in here correct. So I will have this as a reference and the outside. So I got the diameter. So let's start off with some geometry. I'm going to put a circle over here, and I'm going to put a circle here, but it's going to lock in, so there won't be any dimension on this circle. It's locked in as a reference. Of course, I can't create anything with it like it is right now. I need a trajectory, so I need to add some tangent lines. And I need to remove this inner arc on both sides. Delete segment, and I like to just draw through it. You can click on it instead. And of course, here if you want to make some changes in the size, like so. And I think a dimension between the center here and here. If I had to make that other one strong that was already there, I wouldn't have to add it now. And let's make this 20 inches. Let's make it a little bit farther away. And it looks like I didn't get to all the arcs out, so I need to delete this. So there's my trajectory. Check. Continue. I can reverse this and look in that direction if I want. Now I'm going to click on the sketch here and go into my sketch view, and I'm going to be looking down the end of it right in here. So I'm going to use all external references. Again, I know you wouldn't do this in industry, but you're just learning the process here. You just buy a belt or look up the size. In fact, you can look up the size if you want to see what a real belt would be. Just go online and find a belt and then replicate the size on the pulley and then use it to create the belt here. I used all these as references. So I'm only going to need one dimension when I'm done here. Or I should say only one dimension will display as a design dimension. And that's this dimension here. You can do whatever you want. It's your design. So go into my standard orientation before I check. You can see here's the trajectory way out here, but it's just going to sweep this section along the direction and distance of the trajectory, not along the actual line over here. Looks pretty good. I think we will activate the assembly and open the belt. Let's start off with some, if you have this, let's see what else we can do here. How about miscellaneous? What do we got in miscellaneous? Rubber. Let's use rubber. I know a belt probably isn't rubber anymore. Alright, so there's my rubber. Again, if you want to go darker, you can, but this is fine, I think. The other thing is, let's let's auto round it. Just a small amount. And there's my belt. All right, so let's close that, go back over here, and then we have our belt. Now you could design a key if you want. top-down design. And you can even come over here, and I would, if you're going to do this, I would use the datum plane here and then start off by sticking in a axis. There's the axis. And you could use that axis to create another component. We'll do the same process as we did before. I usually don't bother to cover this one, but we can. So we're going to use a revolve solid, and we're going to sketch on oh, I shouldn't have clicked on it. I should have just okay, it is the one that's parallel here. I want it to be parallel through there. So that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, it goes through the whole part in that direction. That's what I wanted to do. Lucked out. A little hard to see here. Axis of revolution. And then we're going to sketch. Well, actually, I didn't want to do this. I wanted to sketch in the other direction. So I wanted to use these references over here. So I'm going to cancel this out. Go back over. Basically, I want to cut through here because I'm going to want to pick up that. I sketch on this datum over here, parallel. I'm not sure why it didn't give it to me, to be honest. It should. Click on revolve. It's the datum down the middle. I think I'll go over here just to select this datum. Sketch. There we go. I don't know why. I must have picked the wrong one last time. All right, so let's go to hidden line. And we're going to use some references. And we want this axis to be a reference. And I'm going to look closely at this. So let's try using these as references. Like so. And we have our axis of revolution. And then we have our geometry. Let's see if we can get this right. We will go into and do the actual complete geometry here. You'll see that it goes to the intersection point if you zoom in. We don't want to use those rounds because they're part of the belt. I hope I'm doing this right. Hard to see, truthfully. All right, this is the hole. Maybe I'll make the hole smaller. So I hope it's going to work. Let's see what happens here. Check. Kind of lucked out. Could do even more in here, you know. What if we wanted to do the whole thing at once? I don't really like doing this, but I should put a reference across here, but I'm getting lazy. Could mirror it also. And we need to delete out some segments. And again, you should maybe align these, do something to make it look better, or maybe I shouldn't have, like I said, do the mirror. But you can get this to work a little bit better. I want to align it. I want these to be directly across. I could put a center line in there. But again, I'm just going to make both sides a little bit different. You can also get really fancy, or I should say complete with it, and you can do a lot of rounds and everything. But again, you want to make both sides the same, and you want to change the dimensioning. You should do one and then mirror it in the sketch if that's what you want to do. Check. And activate the assembly. Save your part. I don't know why this, I don't like the color of this rubber. Pretty dark, but I'm going to leave it. No, maybe not. Let's see. And close it. And of course I'd do the color on the other one too, but I'm not going to bother. Alright, so you don't have to do this one as part of the project, but I would do all the rest. And you can even do more like we were showing in the very beginning with the other assembly. This one. This is a pillow block. You can go and get the bearing. I thought of the off the internet or through some of the Pro or Creo library or the company library. Probably find one that you can just download. This is a motor. And again, you don't have to do all this, but you can see the person did a nice job. This concludes the third assembly lecture for the Pulley project.